Hello dear students, this is your English teacher Qaisar Bashir. Dear students, I welcome you in the second part of the video lecture on Palanquin Bearers, a poem written in the form of a song by Sarojini Naidu. Dear students, in this video, I shall give you the introduction of the poet and the poem. I shall summarize the poem for you, and I will also talk about various poetic devices used by the poet in the poem. Let's get started.
About the poet. The students, Sarojini Naidu, born in 1879 and died in 1949, was an Indian poet, politician, feminist, and anti-imperialist. She was born into a Bengali Brahmin family in Hyderabad. With her father a scientist and her mother a poet, she grew up surrounded by artists, intellectuals, and revolutionaries. A brilliant student, she entered Madras University at the age of 12. About the time, she began also to write poetry. In 1895, she was sent to England to study at King's College, London, and Girton College, Cambridge, before poor health forced her to abandon her studies and return home. In 1925, Sarojini Naidu became the first Indian woman to be elected as the President of the Indian National Congress. She was an important figure in India's struggle for independence from colonial rule. Naidu's work as a poet earned her the sobriquet Nightingale of India by Mahatma Gandhi. She was called Bharat Kokila by Rabindranath Tagore. The students' her published works include The Golden Threshold, The Bird of Time, The Broken Wing, Selected Poems, The Sceptred Flute, The Feather of the Dawn. Introduction about the poem. Dear students, the poem Palanquin Bearers, which is in the form of a song, chronicles the custom in India of carrying a bride to her husband's house in a palanquin by palanquin bearers. By the use of the pictorial and abstract similes, it also describes the mood of the palanquin bearers and the bride in the palanquin. Genre. Dear students, the poem Palanquin Bearers is in the form of a song sung by a group of palanquin bearers. Summary. Dear students, in India there was a custom of carrying a bride in a palanquin by the palanquin bearers. The poem Palanquin Bearers is so finely woven around this custom, which expresses the joy and pride of the palanquin bearers in carrying the newlywed bride to her husband's house. And while walking, they are singing along happily. According to the palanquin bearers, the bride is so light that it feels like she is swaying like a flower sways in the wind. They consider the bride as a privilege instead of a burden to them, since she is sitting and thinking about her future after marriage. They say that she is like the bird that skims on the foam of a stream, which means that a bird passes a stream skipping through the foam of the stream, and the bride resembles of that bird because she is so delicate to carry. She carries a mixed feeling as she is leaving her parents behind and moving into a new phase of her life. She is happy and contented to live and start a new inning with her husband. The bearers are carrying her like a pearl on a string, since she is precious and delicate like a jewel. In the due of their song, the princess is hanging like a star. Like a ray of light is seen on the top of a tide, she appears to be jumping like that. Dear students, a tear rolls down the eyes of the bride. In the same way, she falls, because of her separating from her loving family, where she was born and grew up. The bearers are carrying the bride as delicately as one carries a dew or a teardrop. They are delighted to carry the bride and could not feel her weight, because she is very tender and delicate. Poetic devices. Simile. To students, The poem carries a number of similes, like a flower, like a bird, like a pearl, like a loaf, to show how delicate, light, and happy the bride is. By using such beautiful graphic and abstract similes, the poet's intention is to bring home to the reader the idea that the bride is very tender and needs to be handled with care. The poet describes the gestures of the bride by using different words of moment like sways, skims, floats, and springs. Describing the bride as she floats like a loaf and she falls like a tear, the poet has used a device of contrast. That is, on the one hand, the bride is dreaming of a joyful and romantic life with her husband. But on the other hand, she is crying over her separation from her parents and siblings. Rhyme scheme. To students, the rhyme scheme of the poem is AABBCC. Pairs of rhyming words. Dear students, the pairs of rhyming words in the poem are along, song, stream, dream, sing, string, tide, bride. Refrain. What is refrain? A line or number of lines repeated in a poem or song, typically at the end of each stanza, is called a refrain. The example of refrain in the poem Palanquin Bearers is, we bear her along like a pearl on a string. Dear students, this was all about the poem. If you have any doubts, any queries, you can call me on my phone number 9596 340 913. Dear students, I'll meet you with a new video very soon. Till then, stay blessed. Khuda Hafiz.